member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com.
Bring it on with THACO's hammer and let's go drop kick that giant in the nards.
First there was the original.
I thought it might be nice for kids. Keep them off the street, you know.
Then the basic.
This is a simple game.
Then the first version of the advanced.
Good, clean, wholesome fun.
Now the hammer comes down. Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn second edition AD&D podcast ever.
It's THACO's Hammer again. Hello, Mr. THACO's Hammer Second E, guys. This is DM Glen with DM Brian.
There's no way I can follow that.
And Mr. DM Corey.
What's up, everyone?
Hey.
Hey.
This is number 14, and we got some good stuff in here, I hope. We're going to be talking mostly about monsters and stuff and a few other things.
But right now, Monster Mash.
It's the Monster Mash with a few other things. And let's go into hits and crits.
What do you feel like doing tonight?
I don't know, Ange. What do you feel like doing?
Oh, we ought to do something. It's Saturday night. I don't want to go bowling like last Saturday. Oh, what do you feel like doing tonight?
I don't know, Ange. What do you feel like doing?
Hits and crits.
Hits and crits, now that the drugs have wore off. What did you guys do for role-playing this week?
Oh, my God. Well, the latest thing that I've done is that at your behest, Glenn, I joined Crispy's game, and we had an interesting time.
Didn't we?
Playing. Yeah, interesting's probably the best word I can use. But, that's the first.
We're talking about the Saber Die live
yes.
game. What do they call it? The live broadcast podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Where we basically play for a few hours and we release it out into the internet.
Yep.
And the internet will never be the same.
No, it will not. Not with that game.
You been doing anything else, Brian? Maybe working on your Mystara campaign?
You want to know what? I didn't do anything very much. I had a house guest staying with us for like the last week, and
gotcha.
finding peace of mind in order to focus on such various and sundry role-playing things was at a premium.
I was surprised you could do the live broadcast.
That's because I basically kicked everyone out of the living room.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Corey? What you up to?
Well, I have started to do two things. One, I started to paint more miniatures again.
Yay!
Got out the ink and the lead and started slinging some paint. Played in a strange online game through Skype with you guys.
The weirdest time you've ever had in Castle Amber.
In clothing, yes.
Yes.
Oh, let's put it this way: wait till you guys get a load of me and my Castle Amber.
What else? Oh, I started printing out some PDFs. I'm going to attempt to start making some hard copy versions of some of the PDFs of some of the supplemental stuff that I found online that have been player made, player created classes, kits, proficiencies.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my hand at making some books.
If you remember that 2E was the golden age of the netbook.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Also,
class and spells. Yes.
Also, I've been working on a forum.
Yeah.
That thing.
We should say something about that. What do you think?
I think we should. This is show 14. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a forum. What's the name of it, Corey?
It is osrgaming.org. It is a website built for old school gaming, done in the TSR era. Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Rule Cyclopedia, Second Edition, anything.
First Edition, you name it.
Yep, anything that TSR had its hands on, or anything in the time when TSR was alive and well.
and that was what
We are discussing it on the forum.
And it will also be the forum headquarters of the Wild Games production crew, including THACO's Hammer.
That's correct.
I was getting that.
THACO's Hammer, Save or Die, Roll for Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And any other podcast we can inflict on you. I mean,
custom avatars, custom titles, custom ranks. We're working on a chat room.
Custom punch in the mouth you want to give Vince.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been working on that as well all week.
Oh, great. Well, I haven't been doing much. I did finish my DM screen for the con. Looks fantabulous. I finally said, to hell with Kinkos, I'll do it myself.
I have to say, I saw the pictures you sent, and they look beautiful.
Oh, isn't it wonderful?
It is.
And I'm putting the finishing touches on my D&D pocket character sheets that I'm going to be distributing at the Northwest Texas RPG Con.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, I made one for basic first edition and second edition.
Awesome.
And basically, I'm just going to go up to like the open game tables or something, say, who needs character sheets? And just start flinging them out.
Yeah, no, you do it like you're at a stadium. You come in with the cannon, loaded with character sheets. Who wants some of these?
Poof. Is it a t-shirt? No, it's a character sheet. Boom! Yeah. Or I could go through with the trays. Character sheets, first edition, second edition.
There you go. Yeah, like
get them all out.
Yeah, like Wilma Flintstone. Cigars, cigarettes, cigars, cigarettes. Yeah, that is how they met, you know.
Oh, yeah. You got an email?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
You do?
Yes.
Let's reach in that mailbag and read it out.
Mm-hmm. Reach
Rip
right in.
Rip its guts out and just look at the entrails.
Mm-hmm. And see what the gods say in the entrails. Okay, this is from Joshua Merritt.
Hi, Josh.
Hi.
Hey, guys. I'm Josh. I'm from High Point, North Carolina. I cut my teeth on 2E, and after several generally unsatisfying years with 3.5 4th edition and Hackmaster, I find myself coming home. I just wanted to let you know how great it is to come back and listen to you guys and be able to hear people discussing my favorite version of the game. Due to real lifetime intrusions, wow, there's a sentence, my current game is the smallest I've ever run in 20 years of gaming, 2 to 4 players depending on the week. I wanted to ask you guys if you had any advice on overcoming the difficulties of running such a small game without having each player having to run multiple characters. Any advice you could provide is appreciated.
Without having to run them to run multiple characters, did he say?
That is what he said. I must have misread it. My fault.
Okay.
Okay. And there's one other thing. In a completely different note, what is your favorite piece of second edition artwork?
We have to let Corey go first on that.
Oh, yeah.
Core man?
Well, we going to start with his first question and take them in order, or what?
Yeah,
all right,
let's do them in
start
order.
with the first one. What do you do to keep from playing multiple? Well, first of all, don't run a game with somebody. Scale the game down. Scale the game down.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I say. I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's either that or you run, at least enough NPCs if you have anything on the ball, and to run enough NPCs just to fill out a party of 6.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, either they're playing multiple characters or the DM's trying to play NPCs at the same time he's trying to do everything else.
I've done it.
And it's not fun.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of the gist of what he meant, where they don't have to run multiple characters, and I don't have to run all these hirelings and henchmen and all these other people.
Yeah, then I would say definitely scale things down, scale back. Not maybe difficulty of encounters, but perhaps the numbers of opponents they may run up against, at least to where they don't get completely overrun if they decide to fight whatever it is. So aside from that,
4 giant spiders is anyway.
Well, that was just up against a first level party, Glenn. That was a big no-no.
But I mean, he didn't say what levels they were, so all I can say is look at the level of the module, or just think about the level you want to deal with if you're writing them on your own. I know it's harder to do when you're doing your own stuff. To judge.
I never had that problem, to be honest.
But like a wise man said to me, I said before, that's what they make hit dice for in Monsters.
Yeah, so throwback to what was that, episode 11, I think?
Yes, there's a little thing called hit dice.
Yes. But my whole thing is just you just have to pay a little bit more attention to what would challenge a small party as to what would overwhelm it.
Yeah. Especially pay attention to how many hit points everybody has.
Oh yes.
That could. I mean, not the hit points on the monster side, but the hit dice on the monster side, but the hit points on the player side too.
Player side, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't want a character with 10 hit points, and you throw with 10 hit points average, you throw them up against a vampire.
That's worse than the 4 giant spiders.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I don't know if I ever told the story. It's a short one, but I came into a new gaming group where I was at the age of, how old was I? I think I was 22.
Is this another Brian's confession?
Yeah, no, actually it's not. At the age of 22, I was the youngest one in the group. I mean, I had a married couple in their 50s at the time, one of their best friends who was in his 50s, another one who was in his 40s, and another one who was in her mid-30s. And I came in as a first-level character. They're all averaging like 7th to 9th, I think.
Oh.
And you'll appreciate this, Glenn. They were clearing out Tagle Manor.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So after they took me to several paintings, you know what I mean. They went up again. Just basically they go up against a wraith. I think it's either a wraith or a white. I think it was a wraith. But so I knew. Well, maybe my character didn't know it. Maybe it was just bad role playing on my part. But I basically just start using my tumbling proficiency because I know if I even get grazed by a wraith, I'm pretty much toast.
Yeah.
So I'm basically tumbling around the room, trying to evade this thing. But
I know. That's, dexterity is sometimes overlooked as a really, really, really good thing. Not just for making skill checks and stuff like that. I was in the Living Force campaign in RPGA, which was D20 Star Wars.
Really?
And I was playing the short, fat Gungan, kind of like Boss Nass, only he was a gambler. I built his dex up to 18, and boy, did that save my ass more than once.
Yeah,
nobody could hit me because I was bouncing all over the place. Like Spider-Man, Anyway, how about you, Corey? What would you say to this man?
I think you guys have hit the same points that I'd make. Literally, if you're expecting 6 or 8 players and you get 2 to 4, you're going to need to tone down the game. You're going to need to bring it down a couple notches. You can't expect the same results from a smaller group or a less powerful group. I can speak from experience. You're going to get just as much excitement and fun out of an adventure of, say, retrieving a lost item or a stolen item from the Thieves Guild in a town and never leaving the confines of the town, running through the alleyways, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, maybe fighting a few, thieves, than you would as if you were in an 8-man party and you're sludging through a dungeon, uncovering stuff. The DM needs to be able to tone down the game without killing the excitement. And honestly, for me, in my opinion, I prefer smaller games. 2 to 4 people would be awesome, because you can spend more time with people instead of saying, okay, that's what you're doing. Hold on while I go talk to these 6 other people and tell them what they're doing.
Actually, I think 4 to me is the optimum.
Yeah, I think everybody goes with 4. 4 or 5.
2 to me, 2 is too little, and
you can still do an intimate game with 2. I mean,
yeah, I know, but there's more camaraderie with 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
To me, but yeah, there you go. And what about the favorite art?
Piece of 2nd edition artwork.
Yeah.
Well,
the reason I wanted you to go in order is because I needed time to think about that. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
I literally just went through in my mind, and I've got mine. Go ahead, Brian. Tell me what yours is.
Well, I can't. The first piece of 2nd edition artwork that came to mind, I can't actually mention because it's rather racy, shall we say. But let's just put it this way. Luis Royo is a really good artist.
Oh, okay.
But, where would you find this artwork?
Well, actually, I have a PDF of of some second edition supplements, and as a cover piece.
Are you talking about the 26 books in one PDF?
You got it.
That's
got
not
it.
an actual official piece of.
I know.
Edition
But
artwork.
that's
He
the
asked what
first
your
piece.
favorite piece of second edition artwork.
I know. But that just gives you a hint as to where my brain is at the moment. Let me think.
I can tell you which one mine isn't.
Okay.
It's the six-fingered druid in the freaking Druid's Handbook some editor let a piece of artwork with a druid with 6 fingers go by.
Corey.
What?
You're way too young to be bitter, my friend.
I'm not too young to be bitter.
But let's see. The one that I think the best one that I saw, the one I like is an Elmore piece. Shocking, I know. It was actually a Dragonlance piece of artwork that came out right at the end of the Twins trilogy. So that will put it right smack dab in the middle of or just at the beginning of second edition, if I have my years correct. Basically, it's the one with Dalamar, trying to either open or close a portal, and Kitty R is there, and she's beat to hell. She's all scratched up, and I was like, that screams, just bad day to me, bad adventuring day. When your fighter's all clawed up, and the look on her face is just, shall we say, unwelcoming. And that's probably one of my favorite pieces. How about you, Glenn?
Well, the one that always comes to mind for me is that one in the first printing of the Player's Handbook for second edition. Those guys. What?
No, I was going to say. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the one where the adventurers are stringing up that little dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel something. You know what? When that first came out, I knew a lot of people that picture people would point to it and go, "That's what's wrong with second edition."
Which is the most thing I've ever heard.
More people in my groups got turned off by that picture, but I thought it was wonderful.
No, it's awesome. It basically it's like a second or third level party who basically killed a hatchling, or a hatchling, and basically strung him up and posed for a picture.
Yeah, well,
and you can see that hatchling beat them up pretty good too.
Yeah. They got their bumps and screams.
When that first came out, people were going, "That's what's wrong with second edition. That's why I don't like second edition. It glorifies stuff like that." What, adventuring?
Yeah.
I still don't understand that.
It was like it's like they said they killed the poor baby dragon. Well, that poor dragon just handed them their asses too.
Yeah. The only way that picture would have been better, and that's another Elmore picture actually, but the only way that would have been better is if they had like one of their compatriots laying dead on the ground,
or wrapped up in a bundle, like a funeral wrap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You want to know what my favorite picture is?
What's your picture?
What's your favorite?
I think. Well, the close second would have to be in the first printing of the Player's Handbook for second edition with the white letters and the black binder, is the picture of the wizard. It's done by Eric Olson in the red robes, casting a spell, and it looks like he's polymorphing a unicorn into a dragon, or a dragon into a unicorn.
You realize, of course, that's first edition, right?
The picture?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, that's the second printing of the 1E Player's Handbook you're talking about.
No, sir, I'm talking about the second edition Player's Handbook with the fighter on it. It's the first printing of I'm looking right at it. It says Advanced Dungeons & Dragons second edition.
Okay.
I've been using this book for a long time, so yeah, it's on page 156 in the book.
That one. Okay, because
the colorized one.
Yeah, no, I know which one you're talking about now.
It's done by Eric Olson. That's my close second. My first is probably page 50 of the DM's guide. The first printing of the second edition is the female fighter with a long sword, and she's holding a hill giant by the nose ring.
Yeah.
That's a good
his
one.
Spike, or she's cut his club in just like slices, and she's just got him down on his back, and he's like, that
sort of
picture.
sharpness, anyone?
Yeah, exactly. That picture right there, it's done by Easily, and it's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah,
I'd have to
is
give it the
master.
official absolutely awesome.
Yes. Well, that's our email, right?
Yes, for now.
This week, and you can always send us whatever you want.
Send in more.
Yes, more. Save or die. Save or die. There I go.
We just can't get enough of your emails.
That's right. There, I screwed that one up too, just like on the other show, so now we're even. It's THACO'sHammer@gmail.com. I think twice over there I said THACO's Hammer, and it's like I caught myself. THACO's
and then you got Vince to do it.
Yeah.
That was the best part.
Yeah.
We're taking over, folks, one show at a time.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can't stop us. You can only hope to contain us.
And now I will hold back the onslaught long enough to say, let's go in the book.
Let's.
You ever go to school, stupid?
Yeah, and I come out the same way.
Is that your idea of an idea?
It's in the book. In the book, Monster Player Characters, a Non-Human World.
Optional rules for optional play.
Optional players.
Yes. Optional players, are you saying they have the option to play or not play?
They
yeah,
all
they call you and say I make it because my wife won't let me out of the house. Or
we also have optional DMs too. So
yeah, that's true. Well, I was going to say, Corey, there's only one word to describe those kind of guys, and I can't mention that word on this show. But you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with it.
But anyway, getting back to this.
Yes. What's the ruling?
Oh, let's see. I would love to run a game like this. To be honest, one of my campaign ideas that I blatantly and unashamedly ripped off from an old Commodore 64 / PC RPG called Fantasy back in the day, where you not only had your humans, your elves, your dwarves, etc., but you had orcs, goblins, kobolds, lizard men, minotaurs, sprites and pixies, actually. It was just it's just a great game to play, and it just sparked my imagination, where just humanoids are walking the earth and they're just sharing the same space as the more human races. But yeah, that's about the closest I've ever come to actually playing in an all monster campaign. I'd love to do it.
Well, I remember specifically in the first edition DM's guide that they had a whole section about playing monsters as characters. And if I'm not mistaken, and I will be corrected probably by Vince or one of the other guys on the other shows, or even one of our listeners, I believe that they kind of talked against it. Like, if you do that, what good are humans? And I found that if you can balance them correctly and give humans, their little piece of the pie, the thing with most fantasy worlds that have demi-human or humanoid races interacting with the humans, a lot of them just admit the fact that humans are like cockroaches. They keep breeding, and their breeding cycles faster than the other races and more often than the other races.
True. Well, with the exception of orcs, but I take your point.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Orcs are. No, go ahead.
The thing is, when you have a world with other races, the first thing you do is, you're a human in real life. You're role-playing a game of high fantasy. Why would you want to play another human? But there's some great role-play opportunities for having a world where people can play a dark elf or a half-orc or an orc or, a bugbear or a bullywug, and you get to see some people really flex their role-playing muscles when you go, fine, you're playing a bullywug that's essentially a humanoid walking around frog that's 3 foot tall, and you have to interact with the society that thinks pretty much you're a monster.
Yeah.
And you see how these people react, and how, when you role play as a DM and you're the other people going, get the hell out of our town. You see how hard this player is going to play. This gamer is going to go, okay, fine, I'm leaving.
Yeah. I mean, that when you play these kind of races and you fully understand the ramifications of playing these races, you know, that separates the men from the boys in a role-playing sense. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah. My take on it is I do not find any joy in playing humanoid, other than the standard races. Other than maybe in an all-monster game, and even then I wouldn't want to play one. It's like playing an all-evil game. I have no interest in playing an all-evil game. But now, having said that, I have in the past played a humanoid and enjoyed it.
Well, Glenn, from what I've seen of you, you're one of the better role players. You know, you make something believable, and that's the secret of it. But then again, you know, you're an actor, so I would think that.
Thank you, but at the same time, I want to enjoy myself.
Oh, of course.
Like, but I remember one time during First Edition, before the Book of Humanoids, they codified it. Dragon did come out with monster subraces in the Dragon.
I remember that.
And
I remember it.
And I actually played a half ogre out of the Dragon.
In my world, my campaign world, I actually have half ogres and some other.
But I was playing a half ogre in a normal standard class character party.
Nice
game. His name was Joe Blow, and I did the gentle giant thing. He was terrifying in combat, and he had a +2 to hit only if he was holding his +2 teddy bear with him.
Now, I have a question for you. Not to get... We're all about the tangents on this show, but I'm going to go off tangent. Glenn, when you make your character names and they come out with names like Joe Blow, do you do it for the humor's sake, or do you do it because you don't feel like working on a name for the... there's nothing wrong with it. I'm wondering when you use that name, because the way that, you know, you create the characters you create, they're full of details, and they're very rich, and your ideas that you run with are great. I'm just wondering, like, when you have a half-orc that carries around a teddy bear, I mean, you could have given him a name like Snuggles, or, you know.
I know.
That would have been the cherry on the sundae.
Well, this was the first time I ever did something like this, so Joe just came up. And secondly, as far as names go, I'm very much a fan of people like Charles Dickens and Elsie Segar, who came up with these rich characters with interesting names. I always want the name to be interesting. I mean, that character I played in Castle Amber, Harry S. Thunderson. Now, everybody knows I'm playing Hunter S. Thompson, but I wanted to come up with a name that kind of sounds like that, but wasn't. I went through took me about 2 hours to come up with that name.
Wow.
Right. And it's a great name, and it's a great character that you're playing. That's why I was like, you're like, I got this awesome half-ogre named Joe Blow. I was like, really?
Yeah, that is kind of like, wow.
I was like, Glenn, that's like, you know,
at the time it was the height of wit.
Okay, no, it's fine. That's why it just struck me as weird, as, you know, because like I said,
I was 23 at the time.
Okay, well, that's fine.
But yeah, it was like, you know, at that time, it's Joe Blow, get it? You know.
Don't feel bad. If we're going to talk about naming characters, hell, the second character I ever made, his name was Yoda.
We're not going to talk about characters and who we name and who we made when we were young.
We should talk.
Are we embarrassed, Corey?
Yeah, we're not going to have a Corey's confession.
I knew it.
We're not going to have a Corey's confession on this episode. That'll be coming at another. We'll do another episode about.
We should talk about naming in a future show, though.
Yeah. I'll put that in the show notes while we're talking.
But as far as monsters go in my campaign, I have half ogres. I've actually gone to 3rd edition and stole the Gentari idea and made a elemental offshoot descendant race based on the elements and based on genies and djinns. I like that concept that, you know, you have these creatures and their personalities and even their physical appearance is indicative of the element that they're from. And, you know, I had a character who was played by a guy who played essentially the fire elemental race, and his character was quick to anger, and he didn't know what the heck to do with his character until he read that race. And he immediately said, oh, I'm going to make an angry ex-pirate who's lost his ship, was left on an island, and he made his way back, and he's vowed never ever to go back on a boat, and he's going inland, and he's staying as far as he can. Wow. It gave him an idea just by playing that reading the description of the demi-human race.
That's like a reverse Jack Sparrow.
Right, exactly. And I had another character a guy who did not know what to play, and he's like, I'm really bored and I don't know what to play. I don't want to play a human. I don't want to play a dwarf. I don't want to play all the basic ones. I said, all right, well, here's a book of humanoids. Pick something and maybe you might find something. He decided to make a lizard man that was captured and kept as a pet by a pasha in like a Arabian Nights setting in a desert area. And of course, being a lizard, he needs the swamp, he needs the moisture. Well, they tormented him. But they did it to him to make him subservient. Well, he escaped and essentially is civil, but he still looks like a lizard man.
Yeah.
And essentially the guy was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. I know how to play this guy. I'm going to play him. So like he's like essentially like Edward Scissorhands. People see a monster, but you know, he's got a heart of gold.
Like Frankenstein's monster.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's how he played him, you know. And it was great because all the other players, there was an elf in the party and there was like a dwarf in the party. And they're like, I don't want to be walking around with the lizard man. So they kept him like 20 feet to their right when they walked out in the wilderness. And he eventually got in with the party. But it was a great role play experience. So I guess it comes down to the players, you know. Some people want a munchkin and want a power game.
Right.
And they want all these special abilities. But if you got people who know what they're doing and know how they're playing, the monster characters can be okay.
Oh yeah,
that background is great. That guy came up with. In fact, it got me thinking. I was thinking about the other show we were talking about, Ogre Magi's, and I was thinking like, yeah, a lizard man who went through the whole Pasha thing and stuff, but they taught him martial arts.
Yeah, exactly.
To be used as like a bodyguard.
To interject, I do have a lizard style.
Oh God!
You've seen the five deadly venoms,
yes,
right?
I have.
Yes, I made all of them.
Some like Middle Eastern Arabian lizard man with the turban and stuff, just get it in there and just like, and the dwarf, the elf are just going,
Yeah, what?
Does that mean you can play a Gripply? You can play a Gripply with frog style?
Yeah, I have it. I have the toad
man.
style.
Oh,
yes, I can do that. Yeah, it can be done.
Do you have drunken toad style?
No.
Okay.
See, it's like I said on the martial arts show. I've been trying for years to make a drunken style, and I just can't quite make it work. It either comes off too powerful or not strong enough. It's just a work in progress.
I've seen a lot of people look through the Book of Humanoids and they're like, well, this guy's cool, but he has too many restrictions. This guy's cool, but he has too many restrictions. That's the guy that I take the book away from and say, pick a normal class or race.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the people that sit and read the description of the animal or the humanoid go, what?
Time out. Folks, how do you do it? THACOshammer@gmail.com, 405-806-0555. Let's go into option package.
My personality undergoes a startling change.
You know, you should meet me because I'm a great guy.
I like big fat men like you. When they fall, they make more noise. And sometimes they never get up.
Option package. Here we are at option package. The complete book of humanoids. Corey, continue.
Awesome. Yeah, we did kind of cross the streams there, didn't we?
Yeah,
we kind of crossed streams.
I think the streams is bad.
Yeah, crossing the streams is very bad.
Especially if you're in the men's room. All right, so Book of Humanoids.
Oh.
Yeah, by Bill Slavacek.
Yeah.
What's it? Bill
Slavacek.
Yeah,
Slavacek.
And it's TSR number 2135. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, it's the people that want to open their role play experience and try different things are who you find would use this book the most. The book is full of different races from the Arakara bird people all the way down to the Weemic, which is the half lion, half man, centaur types. It has information here in multi-classing. It also has, how to add humanoids to a campaign. There's actually different models of how to add them into a campaign for those DMs who are like, well, I think the idea would be cool, but I don't know how to implement it. There's, there's 2 or 3 different, there's 4. There's 4 different model campaign types that how you would take a character and bring him into a party of non-humanoids or of regular humanoids.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, each class has, well, most class have a picture. Give the minimum of maximums, just like they would any other race, and the maximum level for their classes, their hit dice, what alignments they prefer, and a background. It's. I personally don't see a problem with many of the races in here, except maybe 2.
Which ones?
Yeah, the Giantkin.
Really?
Oh, like the Vodkin?
The Vodkin, and I have a problem with the Half Giant.
Okay.
You walk into a bar with your party, and the fighter looks back at the Half Giant and goes, yeah, you guys stay outside, dude.
He can't quite fit through the door.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so your party comes
We
around.
don't want that kind in here.
Nice.
And you find a nice cave entrance where the cave starts shrinking down to the point of becoming a tunnel 10 foot tall, and you're like, yeah, dude, you can't go any further. You're like,
that's true.
Even the Minotaur, to a point, is like, okay, so what are we? Well, you're in an ancient dwarven mine, and now you're in the living quarter section. Hey, Minotaur, you're gonna have to go around because you're not gonna fit down the streets or in the doorways that we're gonna go in and inspect.
No, that's true. Yeah.
But for the most part,
yeah.
I mean, they have the ogre mage in here, which I love the fact that they brought him in and they made him look like an oni demon from Japanese mythos.
Well, I like the fact that they made made their powers scale to level.
Yes, I do like that too. There's a full section for proficiencies for all the different proficiency groups.
The ever important cheese making proficiency.
Yes, cheese making.
Something just as an aside, I never understood why they put that in there. But I don't know. I mean, I just noticed that when I was like compiling all the proficiencies into like one Excel file, and it's like, why did they put that in there? I mean, eating I get, drinking I get. They put that and winemaking in there, which is kind of weird.
Oh, and this is the book where that heralds the triumphant return of the half-orc.
Yes, which we spoke of on an
earlier show.
Yeah, and like just to cover that, it's a wonderful race to, it's a wonderful reintroduction. It's just the level limits are way too low.
Yeah,
at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
You can always adjust those.
Yes.
There are I'm going to say there's a ton, because there are a lot of kits.
Yeah, I was looking at the kits, and I've noticed that a few of them are from other books, how you can adapt.
Yeah,
kits. It's like the wizard kit, like the hedge wizard from the Wizard's Handbook. You can adapt to a humanoid.
Yep,
or the pit fighter from the Gladiator's Handbook,
or the war priest.
Right. Yeah. The book is full of just stuff. If you want to take the risk and bring humanoid characters into your campaigns, there's a humanoid group limit section for tables, role playing and how to role play a life as a humanoid. Tribal life. The social and racial disadvantages. There's a chapter on superstitions. You're not a normal. Even humans have superstitions, especially in medieval times. There was tons of superstitions. The Black Plague was because of superstitions. And
then of course my favorite part is and this kind of sticks in my craws of player because I have my party pull this on me, when they can't get a resurrection spell, but they get a reincarnate spell, and you come back as something else. And because let's put it this way, the players I was playing with thought it would be a really cool, really, really good joke if the elf that I was running got reincarnated back as like a kobold or something like that, and they were praying that I would roll for that. But what ended up happening is the elf actually became human.
Oh.
Yeah. So no more multi-classing. It was dual class from that point forward.
Oh well.
But no, that was fine considering what could have happened.
Mm-hmm. Now what? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to finish with. I know
Yeah.
there's a special section in the back of the table section, items per creature type. Oriental weapons for the ogre mage, giantkin weapons, pixie weapons, sorial weapons. But I think the one thing that I like best about this book, because it's something that's kind of important when you're just looking at headshots, is the humanoid size comparison chart on 115.
Yes.
Oh,
it shows you the different sizes of each of the creatures that are in the book. I mean, and they're just silhouettes, but you still, you can see how big a bullywug is versus an ogre mage.
Yeah.
You get a good idea. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
And
how do you guys feel about running like a monster party, a monster adventure? All
well, you know what?
I've done it in the past, and I'm doing it again.
And the last game that I ran with my roommate and a couple other people before it broke up, I had them roll secondary characters, and my roommate, who was like borderline obsessed with Dragon Ball Z at the time, she wanted to run a Wemmick, or a Wemmick, however you pronounce it. And I was like, okay, fine, no problem. So if her Elven Paladin ended up biting the dust, that was going to be character number 2. And and she was a good enough role player to where she could have pulled it off without even breaking a sweat role playing wise. So yeah, to me it just comes down to, sure, I don't have a problem with a monstrous party. It's just coming up with creative enough solutions to get around the social aspects of it.
Yeah, I can't see myself running an all humanoid party.
I think if you look at it from if you look at it from a different view than you're thinking, it's possible, and it's the next campaign I'm planning on running.
I'm not saying it's not possible.
Right.
I'm just saying I don't think I'd have fun doing it. I'm more interested in being like the odd man humanoid out in a normal party. Right. Now that's fun.
Well, the next campaign I plan on running with one of my groups that I have is essentially going to be a post-Underdark campaign, and essentially no one is going to be allowed to pick any race or class that isn't in the humanoids book. And everybody's going to play a monster class. Okay. And essentially what they're going to do is everybody is going to be an ex-slave of a drow house. The house has been destroyed. And they've essentially are now naked with limited weapons in the Underdark, and their goal is to get home.
Okay.
Now they have to work together as these different monsters going, well, we've lived 15 years in the Underdark under the rule of Dark Elves, and now there was a big old war, and all the slaves were escaped, and we're all like, Amos and Andy, and now where are we going to go? So, they're now having to work together as monsters, and it doesn't mean they have to be naturally good, but if you're going to be a hobgoblin and you're going to eat the pixie, well, you just ate your cleric. Now what? They're going to have to start thinking for themselves.
I would if I was going to run something like that, I'd be like, okay, maybe one or two of you can be good, the rest of you have to have a neutral aspect to your alignment.
Right.
Because anything evil, it's just going to fall apart. Either the evil person's going to be killed, or the evil person's going to find a way to screw everybody over so he gets what he wants, and and none of the players are happy.
In case you hadn't noticed, I have warmed up to this book. Because when I first saw the complete book of humanoids, I had this image of, oh God, people are going to want to be playing beholders. Everything out of the monstrous manual. Oh, you want to play green slime? Go ahead.
Can I play a Grell?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to play a Flint.
Jeez.
Glenn's going to play the Otyug.
I had bad memories of running a D&D game where one guy actually had the cojones to ask if he can play his fighter who in a previous campaign got polymorphed into a kangaroo.
Wow, somebody watched Tank Girl one too many times.
Yeah, I was like 1 inch away.
That's like
I wanted everybody to be happy, and my roommate at the time pulled me out on the porch saying, "Are you freaking nuts? I don't want to play with that character in the party because, like, he had all these pluses to battle and stuff, and he could fight like a kangaroo and, you know, all this other stuff. And, well, yeah, okay, yeah, get out of here. No, we need a normal character. So that's what I started thinking about when I said humanize. Oh, God. But now I'm looking through it and I'm going, okay, this is workable. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
one of the other things that balances out for those power gamers, there's a nice little table in the back which has all kinds of monstrous traits. And of course the DM would have to use it at basically like a hammer to hit everybody else over the head with,
Right.
you know, to make the character kind of repulsive. But yeah, you know, just like, I don't see why not.
And like I've always said, the common denominator boils down to the type of player that's going to be playing it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Some people can make it sing. Some people is going, I don't want to. Hand me the dwarf, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, Book of Humanoids. Hey, we want to hear about this, folks. THACOshammer@gmail.com, 405-806-0555, or our new home at OSR
Gaming.org.
Yes. OSRgaming.org at our THACO's Hammer forum. Tell us all about it.
Yes.
Let's go into people skills. We got something related.
The face is familiar.
It's mine.
And so it is.
Oh, yes, of course. It stands out a mile, doesn't it? He's so common.
A little lady comes in here and starts throwing her butt around. What is that supposed to do?
All right, forget I said anything.
Maybe I will.
Well, that's pretty good.
Don't tell me you weren't looking at it.
Well, that's not half bad.
She's giving it right back to you.
People skills.
People skills. One of the humanoids, the Minotaur. The guy with the horns. The cow guy. The bull guy. Whatever you want to call him.
Cowabunga.
For those of you listening, it is not a Tauren. You are not playing WoW. It is a Minotaur.
Who said that?
There's a difference?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Who said that?
They look the same.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, these are ugly critters.
Yes.
Pretty powerful critters, too. I mean, strength max is at 20. Woohoo!
Yep.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
My God.
Constitution's at 20 max.
Yeah, they're supposed to be really, really strong and really, really powerful. It's just,
wait.
you know.
Sean Connery killed one with a Roman helmet on.
Oh, come on.
What movie was that?
Time Bandits.
Oh, well, of course. Okay.
And for hit dice, player character Minotaurs receive hit dice by class. In addition, they receive 6 bonus hit points at first level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's tough mofo.
Yes, they're supposed to be. But, you know, at the same time, the only person I've ever seen roleplay a Minotaur correctly was a friend of mine who was actually running it as an NPC. And she basically, you know, ran the bestial personality really well. It was kind of weird because it was like, what? I think that's the one where my ex-roommate played the Wemmick. You know, it was basically like she was doing like a Dragonlance campaign, but it was like on the other side of Kryn, you know, way far away from what was going on and all the railroading. Did I say that?
Yeah, and we agree.
But yeah, she decided that we're going to be playing in Taladas. The nation is where the Minotaurs live. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll just play an elven female, blah blah blah, you know. And she came out with this Minotaur character, and I was like, I just after like the first like role playing session, I just looked at her. I'm like, you have it down, don't you? She just smirked at me, you know. But I mean, yeah, they get a lot of bonuses. They get, you know, just horribly high strength. They get horribly high constitution. They can take a ton of damage.
They get +2 strength and constitution off the bat and -2 on wisdom and charisma.
And and see, that's the whole thing. It's if the player can actually do it and actually play a character who's maybe not quite so smart and doesn't know quite when to come in from the rain, then then it's all good. I don't have a problem with it.
Now, I noticed they max out at 12 as fighter.
Well, if they use that
yeah,
they
the
use the, yeah, 12 levels of fighter, but if they use the optional bonus for high scores that can go up as high as 16.
Oh yeah, and I didn't know they were allowed to be mages. Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary,
isn't it?
But I don't really think you can. I don't think I could pull off a Minotaur thief though.
Yeah, that is kind of that. You know what? That would be really scary.
You know
Honey,
what?
What is that old man doing in our room trying to steal my jewelry?
I can do it. It's simple. It's called a road bandit.
Okay. Highwayman.
He is a thug. He's still a thief, but you know what? He does it by coercion, not by skill. I'm gonna knock you over the head and steal your stuff.
You know, I give him like the higher intelligence and make him like the head of a highwayman, the head of a gang.
Why not?
Yeah, there's another good piece.
That would be cool. You know, this big bull-headed man stand and deliver.
PCs catch the bandits and they take them and say, "Take us to your leader." And as they're standing around, a large group of the bandits are like, "One-on-one fight for our stuff back. We're fighting your leader." And this giant 7.5-foot tall Minotaur wades into the circle and goes, "Okay, let's do this."
Cracks his knuckles and it sounds like a Neil Peart drum roll. It's like,
yeah.
Like,
so all the thieves part like the Red Sea and he comes walking through.
And that's a Bugs Bunny moment. Me and my big fat mouth.
Yes. So I guess you could play a thief. That didn't even occur to me. Wow, that's cool. But mage would be interesting though, and witch doctor too.
Yeah, they do have special disadvantages though. They take damage as large creatures.
Yep.
Ow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
But they do get immunity to maze spells, and they receive a +3 bonus to their morale scores.
Really?
And they also have 60-foot infravision.
Yeah.
Well, that's handy. But like you said, the Minotaur ain't going to get very far in a dwarven mine.
No.
That's true.
Not unless the mage has a nice little, reduce spell.
Now, here's a character I wouldn't mind playing in that Train of Events adventure. This Minotaur. That would be fun.
Yeah, until you got to the opening in the mine, then all of a sudden you can't go in.
Well, no, I mean this is a railroad though. They have to be bigger, to accommodate for the train.
Glenn.
What?
This would be another great class if you played the warrior class too, to do the whole Frankenstein's monster. One of the paragraphs here, it says, they're brutal and uncivilized savages. They're not mindless killers. Most are ruthless, harsh, and stubborn, but some are thoughtful and sophisticated, and a few are known for their gentleness and kindness.
That would be... Oh, how about a Beauty and the Beast kind of thing going on?
There you go, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
If he was the leader of the highwaymen, I'd probably play him like George Sanders. Oh, you want to fight me? All right.
He's speaking with a British accent.
Like Shere Khan, This is more challenging, yes.
Oh, that would just be fun.
Yes, absolutely fun.
Even better, you could have a fighter noble, like a human noble that has been polymorphed and left to his own to a Minotaur, and he's living in a ruined noble house off in the distance, and the PCs are hired to go, quote unquote, clean out the evilness in the manor house.
Absolutely.
They're just a human who's left to his own. Would you guys like some tea?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, he's lawful good alignment. Yes. Oh, greetings. I'm sorry that my estate is in such disrepair. Might I get you some refreshments?
Until the dwarf kicks over a small urn which holds the remains of his beloved, and the Minotaur stands up and charges him.
Yeah, gores him with his horns. Yeah, and then it's on.
Yeah, pretty much. He probably ends up kicking him out. Oh yeah, you're as bad as Julie. You just kept coming up with them.
Mm-hmm.
But Minotaurs. Anybody ever play Minotaurs out there? Let us know. You know where, the usual places.
The usual time.
And our new usual place, OSR. I can't say the damn URL. What's the matter with me?
OSRgaming.org.
Thank you. OSRgaming.org. And now something really fun. Rule 0.
One would think you've been doing this all your life.
We'll remember you said that.
I know. I'm sure you hate me just enough.
Rule 0.
Oh boy, Rule 0. What do we got, Corey?
Rule 0. You would put this on me, wouldn't you?
He just did.
I know.
I've been doing
players and gaming and drinking, or being under the influence while gaming.
Just say no, people.
It's something we've touched on a little bit on other episodes, but we figured this is where we're gonna get into it more in depth. Stop laughing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's on. We're gonna get down and dirty with it.
Yeah, it's just the fact that you're so uncomfortable while saying it is just making me laugh. I promise, Corey, I won't make too much fun of you while during this segment.
Okay, let's start this off on the right foot now.
Okay.
Say you have players in your group who like to drink. Say you have players who also like to partake in certain hallucinogenic and non-hallucinogenic drugs. Yeah. Or even the ones that are like tripping on codeine because they had a cold or whatever.
I've been there.
DMs do have certain rules about that. There are some that will not abide by it at all at the table, and very little tolerance before or after either. While others, they're cool about it, especially the drinking part. There's some that tolerate drinking but not drugs. And for some reason, the opposite I never run into, drugs but not drinking, which is kind of weird. I don't know why.
Put a recorder on that session.
Yeah.
But the only... No, go ahead. I was just going to start it off. The only experience that I've had was basically a one-shot game, where I decided, where I came up with the DM's caveat: "Stupid will get you killed."
Right.
Because let's see, the DM, who was the girlfriend of one of the players, we start playing this one game, we're adventuring and doing all kinds of stuff, and everybody's toking up, if you will. This is back during my, rather straight edge days where I didn't drink or do any drugs, so I was like the only sober one there, but I'm getting a kick out of watching everybody else.
You're the cleanest sober guy, so you get to be DM.
Oh man, that game. In some ways, that game was such a mess, but it was okay because I think most of the people, who were getting high, knew each other, and it was all good. But the wrap up of the game, let's just say it stopped being a rather wacky fantasy game and it started going into a porn movie.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, I think I'm just gonna pack my stuff up and just.
I'll give you an EP next time. Bye. Yeah.
Exactly. I'll call you later and get my. I'll call you tomorrow and get my experience points. It's all good. See you later.
Yeah.
But let's just say rather. What did she? Oh, that's right. Rather creative uses of potion of rainbow hues and various oils, and I will leave it at that.
Right. This goes back to gamer etiquette. Before the game, if you're one to partake, find out if the hosting house or DM, how they feel about people partaking, especially during the game. Corey, what are your guidelines on? I'm going to say guidelines for Corey.
Yes, they're guided.
I have both. The social drug user and the social drinker at my table. There is a unspoken law at my table. If you disrupt my game by any means, not saying you kick off the odd joke or you say the odd, comment that makes everybody laugh and go off on a little bit of tangent. If you get up naked and dance on my table while I'm trying to move minis around or, something to that effect, or if you're too drunk and or high to stay coherent enough to stay awake at my table, you're not asked back. So my players know to take it, but don't take it too far.
Right.
And what they'll do is they'll crack a 6-pack and they'll have 2 beers while we're gaming. They'll take a break and they'll come down a little bit and then they'll drink some more beer. The other player will have a little bit of whatever they do.
So Corey, so you're saying if I went to your house and I don't drink or do drugs. I socially drink, but I don't do it at the table. So if I fell asleep, you'd kick my ass out of the game and not let me come back?
if you came to my house to play D&D knowing that we were going to play for as long as we play, and you decided, I'm so damn bored of your DMing, I'm going to fall asleep on you.
Is that how you interpret it?
He might take it that way.
If you call me and say, listen, I just worked a 13-hour shift yesterday. I just worked an 8-hour shift today. I've got 3.5 hours sleep between them. My wife had me doing laundry. Really darn tired. I'm going to let you slide. Obviously, I know why. But if you come over and like, dude, let's totally play D&D. We haven't played in 2 weeks. I'm ready for this.
Yeah, and you just fade out immediately.
I'm not going to invite you back to my game.
Yeah. Okay, or if I say, like, dude, I have a history of narcolepsy at the game.
Then that's fine. You will wake up with Sharpie on your face, but, I mean...
we're getting off topic here. Drinking and drugs.
As we all know, if you fall asleep at a party, you're fair game.
Yep.
All right, let's talk. Let's divide it here. Drinking. We've already found out what the deal is with you and Corey. Basically, don't interrupt my game.
Mm-hmm. Well,
with any kind of thing like that.
Well, with me, it's more. I'm not quite as far to one side as Corey is, but I will say, you know what? I don't mind if you do, if you have a couple of beers or if you have, a wine cooler or whatever you're going to have, but pace yourself.
Right.
Because once you become a problem, that's when I'm just going to say, you know what? I don't need this in my game. It's hard enough to get everybody together, and it's hard enough to actually dig in and have a nice game with everybody kind of feeling a little loose and relaxed and whatnot. To have somebody just get, blotto and just completely, destroy everything.
Okay, I'm down with that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we're here to play a game.
Mm-hmm.
Now on the other side of the screen, I have been blotto at the table. It's been rare occasions like the New Year's Eve games, Champions games I used to play. But I'm the kind of drunk who just is a happy drunk and can pass out. And it's like, okay, Glenn's passed out. Let's go on. And but as far as you're right. Drinking, be responsible about it. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely. Don't get completely crap based, if you will.
Because my players listen to this podcast, I will say, if you get so high at the table that the dwarf decides he's not done adventuring for the night and buries 4 magic beans from a bag of beans, and a level 15 or 15 hit dice vampire sprouts out when the paladin only has 4 hit points left, don't get so high that you decide you're going to whip a bottle of aspirin at the dwarf. You don't get asked back to my party.
Gaming table violence is very frowned upon in my games.
Yes,
and that's one of the pitfalls of letting people, drink or
imbibe.
Or imbibe.
Well, I wanted to divide it into drink and drugs because drugs to me is like ramping it up.
Or
depending
down
on the drugs.
Yeah, or down depending on the drug.
If I could give all of my players the effects of cocaine without actually having them do cocaine, where we could stay up for a bender for 12 hours and play D&D, that'd be great. But
my take on that is no hard drugs in play.
Right.
Yeah.
Period. Now, pot to me is a special case.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'm from California. And I am pro pot, but at the same time, if it's someplace where it's illegal, then don't do it. If you want to do it, if you want to do it before the game or after the game, outside,
the views of Glenn Halverson are not necessarily the views expressed for
Halverson.
Oh, oops.
Halverson?
Oh boy!
I said Halverson.
No, it's Halverson.
Julie, we got married. I didn't know it. Why did I take her name? Anyway, no, Hallstrom. Thank you.
She made you. I'm
sorry.
That's why.
But anyway,
why did I say Halverson?
As I said, that's pretty much my view on drugs and pot at the table, because pot to me is it's like drinking. That's pretty much the deal with drinking drugs while gaming. You guys got any last words on the subject?
Just pace yourself.
Don't do it.
If all else fails, don't do it.
Yeah.
Pretend like every game is in a Christian household or something, or a teetotalers or what.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is.
D&D game. Actually, you want to know why I knew someone who was full-blown Christian but played D&D?
I know a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's on the web. There's on I think Yahoo's got the Christian Gamers Guild.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, I actually joined that.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, so let's go into Magic Fingers.
Let's.
Eeny, meeny, chili beanie, the spirits are about to speak.
Well, it just so happens that your friend here is only mostly dead.
Sounds like a lot of supernatural baloney to me.
Supernatural, perhaps. Baloney, perhaps not.
Magic Fingers.
Magic Fingers, as usual, we have a wizard spell and a priest spell. What's up first, Brian?
The first one is the Whirling Blade.
Wah!
No, that was last episode. That was episode 11.
I wish Julie would have did that more often in her the other podcast.
I know.
Anyway.
I know. Yeah, we got her started, couldn't stop her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much.
This is much. But then again, who can? She's a force of nature. This is a second level wizard spell. It is in the Wizard Spell Compendium, Volume 4, page 1012.
Page 1012, okay.
Yeah. I don't know exactly where it came from originally. I want to say it was out of a Dragon magazine, but maybe not. The description is follows thus. The spell creates a shimmering, translucent, silver blade of force equal in dimensions and damage to a longsword. It orbits one of the caster's hands, that's kind of cool, and strikes once per round as a magical weapon with +1 to attack and damage. The blade is weightless and passes through metallic things as though they did not exist without affecting them, which of course discounts armor. Complete metal armor completely. Metal armor is discounted when determining armor class against blade attacks, i.e. targets receive dexterity and magical bonuses, but not metal shield and mail protection.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about magical protection? Like, what was it? Like mail. Invisible mail or something.
Oh, yeah, that's a magical spell. That would count in my viewpoint. It even says beings wearing leather armor of a base armor class of 8. Studded leather also counting as 8 against blade attacks because the studs are metal.
Okay.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
the Whirling Blade also passes through the body of its caster without harm. It's never impaled by that weapon. The blade cannot break but is instantly destroyed when in contact with a wall of force, anti-magic shell, or a dispel magic spell. Now for the sort of drawback for the spell, because it's all positives right now.
And what level is this again?
Second level, believe it.
Second level, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine that.
So what's the drawbacks?
Basically, a Whirling Blade emits a continuous high-pitched shrieking noise. Vibrations of a magical force that cannot be magically silenced and therefore cannot be used with any measure of stealth.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so basically it's like, basically like a high-pitched lightsaber. That's what I'm seeing. And it's like just this really high-pitched noise, yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Everybody knows you're coming with that. That's the only drawback?
Yeah, that's basically it. It says the caster can hold or carry normal weapons or other inorganic objects in the hand wielding the blade without hampering its functioning, unless the objects are so large as to obstruct the caster's view of foes or so heavy as to hamper or significantly slow arm movement, say 10 pounds or more. So
no carrying a 30-pound bucket of oil.
No. Bucket of oil.
That's a left field right there. Okay.
I will not ask.
Well, I'm just trying to add to my wizard with the 2 ones with the oil.
And a bucket of oil. Okay.
Still on that? Oh my god.
Yeah, well,
2 chromatic orb wands, a bucket of oil, and a whirling blade. Okay, great.
Sounds like a punchline to a joke.
I keep thinking of that movie, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, where the guy's loaded up with the bandoleros and the things like that. It's like, this is the wizard version.
Yeah, absolutely. Kung Fu. Yeah, was it? No, this wasn't Kung Fu Joe. I can't remember who it was who did that.
That was number 1 for you this week, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. I know.
So you ever use Whirling Blade?
I've never used it. That's one of those spells where, when I saw it on the list of topics we came up with, I'm like, what is this spell? So while we were waiting for Corey to join us, I looked it up and I read it. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. You know,
Give you some good ideas.
It's a pretty good spell for 2nd level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the damage is just normal. It's basically a D8 plus 1. So.
And what kind of magic schools is this one?
This would be
evocation.
And force. Yeah. If you're a force mage, you would be able to use this spell.
So you need to use the force. You need to use the force for the blade.
Whirling Blade, I use this.
Noisy this spell is.
Of course, it surrounds us.
That is a very, very good Alec Guinness.
Thank you. Blow up the bridge! Blow up the bridge! Anyway, sorry. Yes, this sounds like a really, really good, fun spell. Nothing comes to mind to use it except for, like, hacking through, like, squads of orcs.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured there would be squads of orcs by the time you fired this one up because they'd hear it throughout the dungeon.
That's true. But that could also work to your advantage, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would think it would, like, a special morale check for, like, low morale creatures, like, say, kobolds, who turn tail and run at the first sign of trouble anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what you said, a high pitched whine, right?
Yeah.
Can you change that?
No, unfortunately.
No, I don't mean take it away. I mean maybe change it to some other sound.
Oh, like
modify the spell. Oh, let's see. My favorite, yodeling.
Oh my God. If your character was a bard, I'd allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Or even like something like maybe make it sound like something like a dragon's roar, or something. Something where people who haven't got there yet.
Yeah, and they're like, "What in the heck?
What the? There's a dragon over there!" And they're running.
Run away!
They beat feet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty creative use for that.
Yeah. And even a high pitched whine could be mistaken for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
How about the sound that a chainsaw makes?
Oh, now we're going to Evil Dead.
Yeah, come get some.
The whirling blade of ash.
Yeah,
come to Papa.
Yeah, I'd probably modify that to like a 4th level spell, increase the damage. Because who really wants to get hit by a exactly. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, it's
messy.
It doesn't have any material components. It's just verbal and semantic. So
that's even better.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that goes with the fact that you can have something else in your hand while casting the spell. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, are you actually wielding this whirling blade, or is it just spinning around?
I would think it's sort of like halfway between like a regular sword and a dancing sword. Like I could see like just moving your arm, and then the blade is like say like a couple inches above your hand, and it just slashes like a normal sword.
So you can have say a shield in not shield, but I mean doing something else with your other hand.
Oops, sorry. Yes.
Like carrying the baby red dragon egg out of the nest as you're running down the corridor, spinning a blade with your right.
As long as it doesn't weigh more than 10 pounds.
Okay, that's cool. That's good. That's good in my repertoire. For
my repertoire.
My repertoire. Yeah, whirling blade.
No, wait. You're wrong. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this, but that's only in that same hand.
Well, yeah,
so
that's what I meant.
Something with. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
with 30, you can have like something 40, 50 pounds in one arm. Well, not if you're a wizard because you aren't carrying it. But...
Yeah, because your strength isn't going to be that high.
It's going to be an 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, my bad.
No, it's cool. It's cool. That's what I meant. As long as the object in question doesn't hamper the wizard's vision or is heavier than 10 pounds in that hand. The other hand, sky's the limit, so to speak.
Nice. It's a good spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. That's a good spell for low-level mages. to get in on the action if they so desire. I may just have to use that for an NPC mage I have.
Specialty wizard kit of the battle mage.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, it's funny because that kit, I don't know why it's in existence, because every mage or fighter mage I've ever made is got like an overbalance of offensive spells. But whatever, that's just me. We need to cover that kit one of these days.
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
What else we got here? A pre-spell Whip of Shar. What's that all about?
Whip of Shar.
Yes, indeed. Do you want to handle that one, Corey?
Yeah, I'll take it. It's from Forgotten Realms. I'll take it.
What level?
This is a level 3 invocation evocation spell from the Sphere of Necromancy.
Oh.
This spell is level 3 with a 0 range and a casting time of 6, and it lasts for 1 round per level.
What does it do?
The spell actually creates a black beam of force about an inch in thickness, surrounded by a purple halo, which looks like a whip, acts like a whip. If the caster successfully strikes with the whip in combat, the creature struck suffers 2d4 points of damage. It is doing the damage of a bastard sword, two-handed.
Or a broadsword, yes.
Wow. Undead are affected as if by turning attempt by a priest of 3 levels higher than the whip caster.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice little bonus.
Living creatures struck by the Whip of Shar must also make a successful saving throw for a spell or be unable to attack on the following round, because they're writhing in pain and unable to control their actions and or bowels.
That last was added on by Corey, ladies and gentlemen.
That's called ad-libbing, son. That last part there.
That's one hell of an ad-lib.
You can successfully strike with the whip in successive rounds. They're less prone to fall victim to this facet of the whip's attacks due to a numbness produced by the repeated exposure.
Mm-hmm.
This is a ridiculous attack for a priest or a priestess who wants to get a little paint on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's a rather nasty spell, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like the wagging of a horse's tail in a china shop when dealing with fragile or non-living objects that are small.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be used to bind, construct, or entangle.
Mm-hmm.
Constrict, not construct.
Yeah, constrict. Yes.
It's considered a magical weapon for purposes of which creatures it can strike, which is very cool. Because for a 3rd level spell, if this cleric hasn't found a nice mace, hammer, or what have you, it now can it now has a whip in its repertoire that it can be like, well, I can at least hit, the creatures that we can't turn.
Right. So imagine this combined with like a spiritual weapon spell.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah.
Dual wielding battle cleric. This is actually granted by Shar, Mistress of the Night, evil goddess in the Forgotten Realm setting, but hey, no one says you people out there can't use it wherever you want.
Exactly.
I'd link it to either a god or a goddess of darkness or a evil god.
I would even put this on like Leviatar. This is like right up her alley.
Oh yeah, Leviatar, yeah.
Those
playing Greyhawk. I can see this on Nerul.
Oh yeah.
Vecna.
Yeah,
I can see this on a lot of different gods and a lot of different realms.
Oh God, yes.
It's
Did I say something?
Yeah.
It's how you said it, Glenn. That
I wasn't gonna hover on it, but okay, Brian.
Mr. Pithy, that's me. Yeah, okay.
Yes, exactly.
I like
that's
this
your
spell.
new nickname, Glenn, Mr. Pithy.
Yeah, I use deodorant. Anyway, the Whip of Shar. So you guys never use it in your games?
I've never used it. I didn't even know this spell existed until tonight. And I feel bad because
You gotta throw through those books sometime, Corey. You'd be surprised what you find in there.
I just like collecting them. I don't like looking at them. I like the pictures. You know me.
Yeah, the words.
Yes, sir, Mr. Playboy.
Yeah. The words are too hard.
I don't read the articles. I just collect the book for the pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I wish we could all say that.
We know where you live. But
anyway,
I've used it. I mean, I haven't used the spell, but I've run across it while designing my own deities, Forgotten Realm style, and I'm trying to remember which. I think it's Alphax. Yeah, he's a god of darkness in my Mystara campaign.
Right.
So yeah, his clerics would be using this.
Oh yeah.
To great effect, I would think.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, how do you folks use it? If you use those two spells, we'd like to know about it. 405-806-0555, THACOsHammer@gmail.com, and osrgaming.org. I got it right.
He got it right, folks.
All of them in a row. Wow.
All of them in a row. I'm on a winning streak. And
impressive.
While I'm on that winning streak, we should probably say goodbye and not press our luck.
Yeah, I think it's time to say goodbye, Glenn.
All right, folks, don't forget your character. Take something to eat, drink while you go. Don't forget your dice. And saying goodbye-bye, Brian.
Wake up your friend and get him off my couch. He's not allowed to come back to my gaming table because he's too drunk.
That's right. Say goodbye, Brian.
You can't hold your liquor. See you later, folks.
Okay, how about you, Corey? You want to say goodbye?
Pick up your stuff and get out.
Okay, and me staggering out. I'll see you next time when the hammer goes down. I think I did so. THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at THACOsHammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at THACOsHammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.